Hello, hockey fans! Welcome back into the neutral zone on IE Sports Radio. It's almost here. The playoffs are right around the corner, and everybody is making their final push to try to get into the playoffs. So many games going on tonight. So many implications. What teams are in? What teams are on the brink? And what teams are starting to shut their players down to get a head start on offseason surgery? Lots going on in the NHL. We will be breaking all that down for you. And then, we don't want to forget about college. There is still the Frozen Four later this week. We don't want to forget about them. We'll be giving you a little bit more in-depth preview of those final four teams as well before we get out of here tonight. Lots to get through. Buckle on up. Get ready to light the lamp. Tic-tac-toe over the blue line. And let's stay out of the penalty box this week, huh? This is the Neutral Zone. And hello and good evening, everyone. Once again, I am Adam Karnick. Zach Puplis is along with us as well tonight. We are the Neutral Zone. It is April. It is, can we officially call it mid-April? April 9th. Are we still early April or mid-April at this point, Zach?
Still early April.
Early April? Okay, well, it's the end of early April. The calendar is getting to the end of the NHL season. That's the main point. Everybody's trying to make their final push to get into the playoffs. We've got teams that have clinched. We've got teams that are on the outside looking in. We've got teams that are having guys just get shut down and go start their surgeries now. Lots going on in the NHL. Oh, and Zach's caught watching his Red Wings because they're, in a huge game tonight that we'll be getting to, won't we?
Well, both teams are on the brinket of the playoffs, if you will.
Oh, very droll. That was bad. That was bad. Bad, sir. Bad.
I had to.
So we will be diving into all of it there tonight, plus more. So, but without any further ado, of course, we do of course want to acknowledge our sponsors here at the network. So let us start there, shall we? The Neutral Zone is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Find them at planetjerky.net, or you can search them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Also brought to you by Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations, and you're looking for that extra special touch. Or maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend, and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps. For your invitations, letters, and gifts is for you. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps or Facebook, search Seal the Deal, Wax Seals. And of course, the Neutral Zone is brought to you by IE Sports Radio. For the last 9.5 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop to check out the merchandise. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And this show is also available for you on social media. You can find us on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. Zach is at The Pupless. I am at Adam_Karnick. And without any further ado, Zach, I want you to keep the game that's most important to your heart for last when you do this. Get us up to date on all the scores around the NHL going on right now.
For sure. Nothing's gone final yet tonight. We've got Hurricanes and Bruins. Hurricanes are up 2-1 in the third. Flyers and Canadians. Woo! Canadians are taking them to the woodshed. 6-0 Canadians in the third.
The Flyers are getting that butt whipped.
Yeah, exactly. Holy crap. Blue Jackets and Lightning tied 2-2 in the third. Senators and Panthers. Panthers are up 2-0 in the third. Maple Leafs and Devils. That's a close one. 3-2 Maple Leafs in the third. Rangers and Islanders, also a close one. Islanders lead that 3-2. 17 minutes to go in the third. Jets and Preds. Jets are starting to separate. 3-1 in the second. 15:50 left to go in that period. Sabres and Stars just started the second. Sabres are up 2-1 over the Stars. Still to come tonight, Wild and Avalanche at 9:30. Kings and Ducks at 10. Coyotes and Kraken at 10 o'clock as well. And Flames and Sharks at 10:30.
Another note real quick on that Canadians-Flyers game. All 6 of Montreal's goals have come at even ice. They have yet to have a power play attempt.
What?
So it's not like, they're 4 for 7 on the power play. No, those are all even ice goals.
Let's see. Hat trick by Slavkovsky. 2, 3, and assists by here, there, and everywhere, and his brother.
Yes, exactly. Everybody's getting in on the scoring in Montreal tonight.
Yeah, you get a goal.
It's an Oprah Winfrey game. You get a goal. You get a goal. You get an assist. You get an apple. Everybody gets a point tonight, except for the Flyers.
Yeah. Oh.
Beep bop boom.
Yeah. Oh, but yes, the most pivotal game tonight, probably in terms of playoff positioning. My Red Wings and Caps. It's Caps 2-0 with 11:06 to go in the third. They were tied 0-0 up until the end of the second period, the last maybe 5 minutes or so, when they turned it over twice and Washington capitalized. Boo.
But yeah, as we sit here, so Detroit currently holds the final wild card spot in the East, but 2 points for Washington would vault them up to 85 and knock Detroit back out. And for what it's worth, also allow them to jump over the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have the night off.
Yeah. Well, they said this is probably the most pivotal game in the 7-year history of Little Caesars Arena. And that 7-year time frame also coincides with the last time we made the playoffs. It's been a 7-year drought So it's probably the biggest game in the arena's history so far.
To this point, they could use those boards that I swear you'd smack it off of the boards behind your opponent's goalie, and you'd score it in your own net. They could use those boards tonight, I imagine. Now, Taryn is in the chat room here tonight, and he asks if the Kings finish higher than Vegas, which, as we sit here tonight, the Kings currently are third in the Pacific. They are at 93 points. They are 1 point in front of Vegas. Both have 77 games played, so both have 5 games left. If the Kings finish higher than Vegas, can the Kings go deep? And I'm going to preface this by Zach, take a look at who the Kings would get in the first round. How deep do you think LA could go?
Well, so it's no longer 1 and 8. They do like the divisional, don't they?
Right. It's all the divisionals. So the Kings would get the Oilers in the first round.
Ooh.
That's a tough draw. That is a tough draw. Now I will put it this way, Taryn. And good evening, Marcus Los Great jumps into the chat room. Salute to you, sir. We need to have Marcus on sometime, Zach, when we get some really, really good hockey fights. I want to get some actual boxing analysis on some of these fights. Marcus, I know, is already laughing as he hears that, because anytime I bring this up and send him clips of hockey fights, he just does a giant eye roll and says, "Yeah, wake me. I'll show you a real fight," basically. But we need to have Marcus on sometime to break down some of the great hockey fights and give some good boxing analysis on this sometime. But back to Taryn's question. At the moment, the way it would shape up, the Kings, of course, would get Edmonton in the first round. Nashville would play Vancouver in the first round as things are sitting here tonight. So if the Kings were to get past Edmonton, they would take on the winner of Nashville-Vancouver, which I could see the Kings. I could see the Kings making a run there if they were to get past Edmonton in the first round. So I'll put it to you like that, Taryn. That's my 2 cents and my takeaway there is if they could survive Edmonton in round 1, then I do think the Kings could be a surprise participant in the Western Conference Final. But getting past Edmonton in the first round, that's a tall order.
Yeah. And if they had a little luck and say Nashville beats Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't know how much I trust Vancouver at this point. They're a young team. And Cam Talbot's having an excellent season in net. And that's one of the requirements kind of for a deep playoff run is you have goalie will travel. Cam Talbot's playing very well this season. So that could very well be something that could catapult them a little bit here. Is if Cam Talbot, he's having a little bit of a renaissance season this year at 36. I don't know how many more of these seasons he's going to have in front of him, but he's having a good year this year. I could see him kind of pushing the Kings along. That's not outrageous, but that first round matchup with Edmonton, to me, that's tough.
And that's who they played last year, actually. They did wind up losing, the whole series, but they did put up a good fight. They lost in 6 games.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's, have they done enough to get over that hump? I don't know. And I'm taking a look at the standings here real quick too.
Oh, actually, they've played in the playoffs the last 2 years, the first round.
Oh, that's right, because the Kings very nearly pulled the upset 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a 7-game series, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7-game series. Edmonton 1-4. Won it in game 7.
That was, I mean, like the Kings took the first 2 games of that series or something like that, if I remember correctly. That was, I remember we were kind of looking at it as like, what is wrong with Edmonton? Why are the Kings, what's going on here? And it was, all right, maybe the Kings are something here. So.
Well, yeah, and that's what got me thinking about it. As soon as we said that, I was like, hang on, we think that Edmonton's just going to, seek and destroy, but, they've had some tight series. Tight series in the playoffs before, and there's an octopus on the ice.
Uh-oh.
Stoppage of play.
A premature octopi sighting there in Detroit. First of all, you have to wait to the playoffs. Second of all, they need to actually score first.
Yeah. Maybe it'll help rally the team. How about that? He picked it up with his bare hands. Ugh.
One of the grossest traditions in it. God, our sport is weird. You know that? This is a really weird sport. You're throwing a live octopus on the ice, for God's sake. What in the world?
Yeah, and he picked it up with his bare hands.
Damn, this sport is weird sometimes.
Of
course, Nashville does the thing with the fish too, and that's
even
more.
They
disgusting.
Stole that from us.
Yeah, that's even more disgusting what Nashville does. So
they do a catfish instead of an octopus.
Yeah, they do a catfish. That's my mind. That's more gross. That's more gross there. So.
Was it Vegas or maybe it was Florida? Somebody did pink flamingos.
Plastic ones, I hope. Or
balloon type ones, I think even.
I don't know. Weird stuff in this game that we enjoy watching. Right. I don't try to explain all of it. Sometimes you just have to move on with some of these things. You just accept it and move on some of the time.
Yeah. Well, okay, so tonight's a pivotal game, but then they're talking about Thursday being a pivotal game as well because Red Wings play the Penguins on Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be another massive one because since right now they're tied.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Red Wings are absolutely they're in control of their own destiny. Now, they lose here tonight. They might need some help, but they can control some things here for themselves. They don't need necessarily a ton of help. So,
yep, 10 days left, 4 games left for both Capitals and the Red Wings. Red Wings next are at Pittsburgh Thursday, like we talked, at Toronto on Saturday, and then a home with Montreal to wrap up the season. Home on Monday, away on Tuesday.
You think they're getting in?
Oh, man.
I know.
I certainly hope so, but looking at this last leg of the schedule, the way Montreal is playing tonight, who knows?
Yeah. It's I think Detroit's going to come up short, and I say that knowing that as soon as I say that, it sounds like, well, it's just the Blackhawks fan. He's never going to pick Detroit for anything. As soon as I say it, I know that's how it comes off. I think they're going to come up short.
You're just jealous we got Patrick Kane and DeBrincat. I get it.
Can they send Patrick Kane as an honorary representative into the playoffs?
Right.
And Patrick Kane gets to just be in the playoffs somehow. I just want that. That's all I want.
Right.
That's all I want is for Kane to get back into the to do his magic in the playoffs again. But
yeah.
But as we sit here too, we are running out of seats left in the playoffs. You're down to the Atlantic. You've got all three spots in the Atlantic clinched. Boston, Florida, and Toronto have all clinched a spot in the standings. Plus, you have Tampa Bay has grabbed a spot. They would right now be a wild card. The Rangers and the Hurricanes have both clinched. So you only have really 2 seats left in the East, and only one available for Detroit. That wild card is really all that's there. There's no way they can jump up and catch Toronto with just 4 games left. They're too many points back.
Yeah, and they're not in the Metropolitan, so they can't get the third one there.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They can't change divisions yet. That doesn't happen to the playoffs. So
yeah, limited seats left on the playoff plane. Exactly.
Yes, very limited seating, especially in the East. The West, you're definitely running out of room there. In the Central, Dallas, Colorado, and Winnipeg, they've all clinched. They are all in. So it looks like basically your top 3 spots are accounted for there. Nashville could still, in theory, leapfrog Winnipeg. They've got 4 games left, so they could still max out at 102. But it wouldn't take much. Winnipeg's got 5 games left. Winnipeg needs 3 points to assure itself of at least a third place finish there.
Plus, they're playing Nashville tonight too. So
yeah, thank you for that reminder. Yeah, so win that one. Boom, they do it. They clinch third. Colorado needs a point or needs a Nashville loss in regulation, and it clinches a top 3 spot in the Central. And then the Pacific, you have Vancouver and Edmonton have clinched. LA and Vegas are neck and neck with each other, and everybody else in that division that has been eliminated. So you're talking 3 chairs left available in the West, 2 chairs left available in the East. Do you think we have any surprises between now and the end of the regular season as far as playoffs are concerned here? We've got tonight and then 9 more days.
Wow. I don't think so. I think St. Louis and Minnesota don't necessarily have enough in them to leapfrog anybody at this point.
Yeah, How is Minnesota alive?
They still got 83.
I'm doing math on the fly as I'm looking at this. So they could max out at 93, which, all right, okay, so 93 still is enough for a playoff spot right now, but all it takes is Vegas and LA getting LA needs a point. Vegas needs 2 points over the next 5 games, and that would be enough to knock out Minnesota. So yeah, Minnesota's dead for all intents and purposes, and Minnesota can't catch Nashville. So Minnesota is effectively dead, and St. Louis only 4 games left. So yeah, 95 is all the better St. Louis can do. So a win, 2 more points for Nashville, and it'll assure itself a spot in front of St. Louis. And L.A. would then just need 3. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. St. Louis and Minnesota, that's too much for them to overcome.
Yeah. Unless you want to start doing like the NFL playoff scenarios. Okay, this team needs to win, plus this team needs to lose, plus this team needs to tie, plus this team needs to...
All right, so this is going to be me being a dad for a moment coming out. Obviously, my pop culture references are very skewed at this point. We watched Little Mermaid the other night, and going through that, I just hear Flounder imitating Scuttle, and this is this, and that is that, and how is anybody supposed to follow this? No, you're just eliminated. Just move on. It's easier that way.
Yeah, exactly.
How about in the East? Do you think there'd be any surprises? So basically you see So basically, you think Nashville, LA, and Vegas are in. That there's three seats for those three teams.
I think I want to do a deeper dive on each one's schedule, but at the moment, yeah.
All right, sounds good. How about in the East? Any surprises there? And yes, Detroit is technically in right now.
If the playoffs started today.
If they started today, every coach everywhere just cringed.
Right? Yeah. Real quick, I'm sad for Seattle. So 2 out of 3 years they're not going to make the playoffs, and be happy that they actually got to host a playoff game last year, and they got a playoff win even. So.
Yeah. But yeah,
I don't know when the next run's going to happen.
Yeah. My gosh, man, they just need to stop the game in Montreal at this point. It is 8-1 Canadians.
It's like the Simpsons gif. Stop! He's dead already.
He's dead already. Good evening, Jen B. By the way, joining us in from the Cleveland area. Hello, Jen. Unfortunately, the Columbus Blue Jackets are one of the teams that's already eliminated, but they can still have some fun, and the only team from the Metro eliminated is Columbus.
Oh wow.
Even the Devils, which we'll talk about them a little bit later on, and the Flyers, who are getting just absolutely curb stomped, they're still technically alive.
Hammered, yeah, 8-1. Holy crap! I just looked.
But any surprises that you see coming out of the East as we sit right now? Detroit and the Islanders. The Islanders would be the three in the Metro. It would be Detroit and Tampa would be the two wild cards. Tampa we know is safe.
Wow. Yeah. Detroit and Pittsburgh and Washington, even Philly, they're all just bunched up so tight.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh and Washington both have, more so Pittsburgh probably, strong histories in the playoffs. I'm hoping for Detroit, but if they get leapfrogged, I wouldn't be surprised.
Crosby is right now basically just willing the Penguins into the playoffs too. He is playing out of his mind right now. 40 goals, 86 points on the season. Instead of pulling up his numbers, I apparently decided to pull up Evgeny Malkin's. But Crosby, look at some of these recent games for him too. In his last 4 games, he's got 3 goals and an assist, and he is just commanding presence out there and demanding that the Penguins make the playoffs. Basically, he is playing so well for them right now.
No kidding. And if the Red Wings do miss, they're going to look back at that stretch from the end of February to middle of March with, 7 straight losses?
Yeah.
7 straight losses, and the stretch at the end of March with 4 straight losses. And, that's right there. They could have probably sealed it already by now if they'd at least won a couple of those.
Now, I will say, if the Penguins are going to make it, they are going to earn it. Because they're off tonight. They've got the Red Wings Thursday. Then they host the Bruins on Saturday. Then they host the Predators on Monday. And then they finish up with the Islanders on Wednesday next week.
That's
all playoff teams or playoff hopeful teams. If they make it, they are going to earn it to get their way in Pittsburgh.
Right. Here, let's look at Washington. They had quite a losing streak back at the end of January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses in a row. And another stretch at the end of March, up until Sunday, they had another 6 losses in a row. They've got Buffalo on Thursday in Buffalo. They're Tampa Bay at home on Saturday, Boston at home on Monday, Philly in Philly on Tuesday to finish.
That's easier, but wow.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you include Detroit, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff or playoff hopeful teams, 4 of the 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Flyers will be dead come next Tuesday, but still, it's a chance to play spoiler.
Yeah. So I guess if you're looking at those 3 teams right there, I guess I'd rather be the Red Wings.
Let's just to close the loop here. Let's look at the Islanders because they're the other one that's still hanging around here. They host the Canadian. They're right now they're playing the Rangers. They're winning 3-2 in that one with 7.5 to go in that game.
Sure.
They host the Canadians on Thursday. They play the Rangers again on Saturday. Then they play the Devils on Monday. They're going to be obviously without Jack Hughes because he got shut down officially today. And then they finish up with the Penguins. That's a tough. I'm not sure what to make of that for the Islanders. On the one hand, they've got the Rangers, but the Rangers have already clinched a spot. The Rangers have clinched home ice effectively. They haven't technically yet, but they very well could in the Metro. They could. I mean, they're trying to clinch the President's Trophy right now. Is the Rangers, but we'll see how important that is to them. But otherwise, I feel like the Islanders. I feel like the Islanders should be in. What do you think? Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I mean they've got the 2 games against the Rangers, Montreal wild card. If you look at tonight's
right, yeah,
output,
you're not sure what you're getting when you play Montreal.
Yeah, New Jersey, like you said, Jack Hughes, and then Pittsburgh. So, I guess it. If the Rangers, since they've already clinched the playoffs, if they wind up clinching the President's Trophy, then maybe they'd pull an NFL and they'd be sitting guys, maybe, or they could just be playing like normal, and that would be a tough out. So that's a toss-up there as well. But, I mean, they're playing them twice tonight and again on Saturday.
Yeah.
But then you got New Jersey and Pittsburgh.
So that's an interesting one there. That's certainly a very interesting gauntlet there for the Islanders. I'm going to go ahead and say, though, I think they get in. I think they get in. I'll go ahead and say that for the Islanders. I think they'll make it. They've been playing good hockey. They're playing strong. They're getting decent goaltending. Our buddy Varlamov has been nice when he's come in relief of Ilya Sorokin. Sorokin's been playing well enough. I think they can get in. I'll go ahead and say Islanders. I think we'll wind up with. Detroit's remaining schedule.
We got Pittsburgh. We got 2 games against Montreal and somebody else in the middle.
The Leafs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it's still the regular season, so the Maple Leafs will trounce you. It's the playoffs when Toronto falls off a cliff. So,
dang it.
So, yeah.
And tonight's officially a loss. It's 2-1. They just scored with 1 second left in the third.
There you go. All right. So that vaults Washington then into. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that puts them into third in the Metro, or if that puts them. No, that would not put them in third in the Metro, because technically the Islanders That would put them in 4th in the Metro, but that would mean they're in the wild card spot and bumping Detroit and Pittsburgh one spot down. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Islanders wind up finishing 3rd in the Metro, and I think it's gonna be Pittsburgh and Washington. Or excuse me, I'm gonna go Washington. I'm gonna go Washington taking the final playoff spot there, because we know Tampa's gonna be in as well from the Atlantic. So I think the Islanders take 3rd, and I think Washington winds up grabbing that last wild card spot.
I'll stick with Islanders, and call me Homer. I'll pick Detroit.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then we'll see next week that it's Pittsburgh and Buffalo. So
right.
What the heck do we know? All we do is talk into microphones.
Something out of left field. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's take ourselves a quick break, and then when we come back, we've brought it up a couple of times, but there are some teams that have decided to make some moves to kind of wave the white flag a little bit. We'll talk about some players that have been shut down for the season already. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff from my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Back to the neutral zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Once again, Adam and Zach here with you.
As we welcome Patty Bax into the chat, she jumped in just the wrong time as she's paying attention to her Buffalo Sabres taking on the Dallas Stars. When we started the show, the Sabres were up 2-1. I was thinking, this is great for Buffalo, and then now the Stars are just being mean. Not only are they up 3-2 with 3 minutes left to go in the second, they're out shooting the Sabres 19-10.
Dang.
So
Still not as mean.
Still not what?
Still not as mean as Montreal.
Right. Yeah. That mercifully, the game in Montreal ended.
Whew.
They didn't need the double digits, but boy, did they come close. Final score: Montreal Canadiens 9, Philadelphia Flyers 3, and that one. Yuck. My goodness. Apparently, well, I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Gritty, of course, yesterday was the eclipse day.
Sure.
Gritty informed the world that he was going to be staring into the eclipse without any kind of protection.
Oh, gosh.
Which, I mean, that's a Gritty thing to do. So apparently the Flyers decided to follow suit there.
Right.
Or at the very least, who was in net for Philadelphia tonight? Because I think he clearly wasn't seeing the puck at all.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I wanted to bring up as we talked a lot about the playoff picture there for the first 35 minutes or so of the show, and we've got about 15 or so left to go tonight. We've had a couple of teams that have already gotten a jump start on their off-season plans. And one of them is a team that's actually even still technically alive in the playoff hunt. The New Jersey Devils this afternoon announced that they are shutting down Jack Hughes for the season with shoulder surgery. He will have the surgery tomorrow, so he will miss the remainder of the season, which would effectively mean the Devils are probably not going to make the playoffs. You know, they were trying to make one last push to make the playoffs for back-to-back seasons. They made it to the second round a season ago. Hughes, I mean, he's been giving it all he's got. 27 goals to lead the team, 74 points overall. That's second. He missed 11 games early. He missed 11 games already this season. Now he's going to miss a few more here as we wrap things up. But the expectation by them doing this is that Hughes will be ready certainly for the start of next season. What do you think, Zach? Is that the right move for New Jersey? Should they be essentially waving the white flag here? And they are second from the bottom in the Metro, but they are still technically alive with 3 games left.
Yeah, I would wait till you're officially eliminated.
Yeah, to just keep all those avenues alive if you can. Now they did lose to the Maple Leafs just tonight, 5-2. So that probably will do it. I'd have to look specifically, but I think the loss 5-2 to Toronto tonight, I think would officially knock them out. So they anticipated how things were going to go and called it a year. He'll have surgery tomorrow. It's being performed by the team doctor. Anticipate that he should be back for a full recovery and be ready to go and not miss any time at the start of next season for Jack Hughes. And then the other one that you reminded me of, our guy Wi-Fi.
Arbor Jahai.
Yes, Arbor Jahai, the sensational Canadiens defensiveman, best nickname ever. He is also having season-ending surgery. The Montreal Canadiens announced today. Well, apparently, they didn't need him when you score 9 goals. Why do you need a defense? You know, unless you're playing Edmonton, in which case they laugh at you and say, "Yeah, you still didn't get enough."
We'll raise you another 6 goals.
Yeah, you scored 9. We scored 12. You still failed to cover.
Yeah.
Jahai will have surgery tomorrow. Just like with Jack Hughes, he is expected to make a full recovery in time for the start of the 24-25 season. The 23-year-old recorded 10 points this year in 44 games and had a +6 rating on the year. He bounced back and forth between the NHL and the AHL this year. He's got 11 points in 17 American Hockey League games as well this year. So a decent season for Arbor Jahai, but it does end a little early. At the same time, the Canadiens are in last place. You know, they're eliminated. They're not going anywhere this year in the Atlantic. It's just a matter of, do you finish better than Ottawa or not? I got no problems with this move. Do you?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah,
they've already been eliminated. And
Yeah.
you might as well give him time to recover. And they said he'll be ready in time for the start of next season.
Yeah, and I would say the hope is next season that Jahai can I'm just going to keep saying it until it sticks in my brain. that Jahai hopefully doesn't have to spend any time in the AHL next season, that he can just be a mainstay on that blue line in the top 6 for Montreal next season as they try to right the ship over there in Montreal.
Exactly. I'm with you.
So those things all make sense, but at the same time, it's always frustrating for players when the season comes to an end there. So that's always a little frustrating when the season comes to an end before your teammates are out. You know, your teammates are still out there playing, but you have to be watching because, you know, you're in a cast or something like that. So,
right. Yeah.
So a little bit of fun as we're down to just about 10 minutes left here of the show. We'll get caught up on some of the final scores and things here. A little bit of fun from my Blackhawks from over the weekend. So of course the Hawks are eliminated, all those wonderful things. It's been outside of Connor Bedard, it's been a season to forget. Did you see how did you see the alternate broadcast that the Blackhawks offered for their game this past Saturday against Minnesota?
No, I didn't.
They're taking a page out of the, how the NFL did the Nickelodeon slime-aid kind of thing?
Slime cam and slime cannons and stuff.
They basically took a page out of that and said, we'll up the ante.
Oh, God.
This was not the main broadcast, mind you. They still offered the traditional broadcast for everybody, but they offered a simulcast that was fully animated.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And it was only on a slight delay. You were basically watching it in live time. You were basically watching it live.
I wonder if that has a tie-in with their Roblox connection.
That might. Officially, the reason they were doing it was they were celebrating their mascot's birthday, and so he was having a birthday party, and so everything was animated for it. But it was a very cool. It was a neat. I don't know if I would necessarily want to watch the entire game that way. I watched primarily the traditional broadcast, but I checked it out. Especially Bedard had a great goal that was, how did that look in the animation? And it was like the puck would go in and the goalposts changed from being iron to being popcorn buckets, and they would pop popcorn out of them. So there's some neat things going on there with it. It was an interesting way to watch a game. I don't know that I'd want to necessarily watch a whole game of it, but it was neat. It was fun. It was cute. And in the middle of a lost season, where you're, gosh, what are they now? 23, 49, and 5. They've gotten over 50 points at least. But, the season is absolutely lost. They are going to finish in last place in the Central. Why not have some fun with some things like that? So
yeah, I'm right there with you. You got to have some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, if you will.
Exactly, absolutely. So
my friend was at one of your games. She lives in Chicago, and her post was just, well, at least the Labatt's is cold.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. So, well, there's not much to see here.
Right.
Yeah. That was, But, all right, let's give a real quick, as we are down to just our last couple minutes here of the show. Let's just real quick, we'll burn through. We've got 3 games that are actually still active. The Sabres thought they had tied it against the Stars, but it was a high sticking. Never mind. So 3-2, Dallas over Buffalo at the end of 2. Also at the end of 2, the Jets on top of the Predators, 3-1. They are just underway in Colorado. The Avalanche have the Minnesota Wild were very nice and decided to just spot Colorado a goal. It is 1-0 Colorado. Hurricanes on top of the Bruins, 4-1 final there. Of course, we discussed the Canadiens' crushing of Philadelphia's soul. Capitals over the Red Wings, 2-1. Lightning officially over the Blue Jackets, 5-2. Panthers shut out the Senators, 2-0. Maple Leafs, as we discussed, defeat the Devils, 5-2. And the Islanders officially doubled up the Rangers, 4-2. Still coming yet tonight, the Kings and the Ducks. That should be fairly straightforward for Los Angeles. The Coyotes and the Kraken, 2 eliminated teams, so nothing really to see there. And then the Calgary Flames should absolutely be able to have some fun, again, take out their frustration over being a playoff eliminated by just thoroughly destroying the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, that one for sure.
All right. Any last thoughts before we close things up here tonight, Zach?
Oh, sure. So Frozen 4, Thursday and Saturday, you've got Boston College playing Michigan and Boston University playing Denver. The winners will play Saturday for the Hockey National Championship.
Have we changed our minds at all on it being an all Boston championship Saturday?
No, I think it's just too poetic.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, as much as I'd love to see Michigan or Denver create some chaos, I think it's all Boston all the time on Saturday. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, fun fact. Final four teams have won a combined 28 national titles, with Denver and Michigan tied for most of all time with 9 each, and Boston College, Boston U winning 5 each. Denver last won the championship in 2022. BC's last title came in 2012. BU's in 2009. Michigan's in 1998. So there you go.
There we go. Well, I think one of the Boston schools will get to catch up to Denver and or Michigan there by the time this Frozen Four is all said and done.
Yeah, one's at 5 p.m. and the other one's at 8:30. They're both going to be on ESPN. 2 championship on Saturday, 6 p.m. on regular ESPN.
All right, that is going to do it for our show here tonight. We will say thank you and shout out once again to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Free shipping on all orders of $50 or above. Check them out, planetjerky.net, or on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Seal the Deal Wax Seals with Cecilia B. You can find them on Instagram at Seal the Deal _wax stamps, or on Facebook, Seal the Deal. Thank you to Larry B., the czar and overlord of ID Sports Radio, for all the hard work behind the scenes, sir. We do appreciate all the work you put in. Thank you to everybody hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Jen B., Patty Bags, Marcus Slosgreat, and Taryn Rodriguez. Thank you, one and all. Finally, thank you for being here and listening. We appreciate that. The show, of course, wouldn't be anything without the listeners. So we very much appreciate, whether this was your first show, you've listened to every single one we've done, whether you are a diehard hockey aficionado, or whether you are just starting to put your skate out there on the ice. We are here for you. We hope that you, if nothing else, you enjoyed yourselves listening to this. He is Zach Puplis. I am Adam Carnick. Together we are the Neutral Zone. Coming up right after us, it is Sin City Sports with Cale Henderson. He will be breaking down everything happening in the world of Las Vegas sports. The A's might eventually be coming there someday. Maybe they'll have a stadium. I don't know. Maybe they'll just play in the middle of the desert and call it a day. You will have the latest on that. And, of course, the Golden Knights. They appear to be playoff bound, but where will they be sitting? Who will they get? He's a very confident Golden Knights guy. Does he think it even matters? That'll be Sin City Sports coming up right after us. Next week, here on Neutral Zone, we'll be one step closer to the playoffs. And, of course, the Frozen Four will be done. We will have a national champion that will have been crowned. We will recap that. All that and more. We will see you next week. And we are down.